Hey, Marc Giles here. Today we're talking about the difference between getting pre-approved and getting pre-qualified to buy a house. If you want to buy a house, this is where you begin. This is what you do. And I'm your host, Marc Giles. I'm really here to help you out determining what your next step is to buying your house. Before we get started, I just want to let you know I am not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. This is not legal or professional advice. It's not an offer to lend you money. This is for educational purposes only and entertainment. So while the information is accurate and true, I want you to just know that I'm here to help you out. My passion is to educate home buyers about the home buying process. I'm here for you 100%. So let's dive in. Hi, Marc Giles here. I want to just let you know that there is a difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval when you are going down the road pathway to buy your house. And so this video should enlighten you to give you some clear idea of what's best for you in the moment. And it really depends on your goals. What is it that matters to you most? Let's dive in and check this out. So getting pre-qualified and pre-approved, both are good, but there is a difference. And one has a little more heft than the other. And what you should do and how you should proceed really depends on what your goals are and where you want to be and when you want to get there. So for example, if you're going to get pre-approved, you are ready to buy a house, right? You want to go and you want to get this house. If you want to get pre-qualified, then what you want to do is it's a learning process. You want to learn more about your capabilities, what you should be doing, what documents you're going to need, and you're in the gathering information stage. And this is a great time to be in, but you have to be aware that that's where you are. You're not ready to go and buy a house. If you want to go buy a house, you need to get pre-approved. So the pre-approval is basically getting the mortgage loan originator all of your documentation now. It's about getting your credit run. It's about maybe even signing stuff, With the pre-qualification, you can actually have conversation. It's very light, very non-intimidating environment because you are getting your questions answered. You're getting your goals set. You might be gathering information, finding who's going to be your co-signer, finding out if you should take a new job or if you want to quit your job. These are the times you want to ask these questions without bringing in documentation, just to gather information. But if you're ready to buy a house, you want to get pre-approved. That's absolutely correct. So the pre-qualification is just the first step. The pre-approval is the second step. It's a conditional commitment. Actually grants you a mortgage, right? To a certain degree. However, let's talk about the how are they different. The pre-qualification gives you an estimate of what you can borrow, while the pre-approval tells you what you can actually borrow. And the reason is because the mortgage loan originator is going to take some of your pay stubs, your bank statements. He's going to analyze it. He's going to check and see if you have enough cash to actually do the deal. He's going to run your credit. Should go through your credit with you to analyze it and see if there's any things that you need to fix. Sometimes you want to, if your credit's not bad, you still want to be in an upward score environment. So doing things that are going to continue to get your credit score to increase as opposed to decrease. These are little educational things that you will learn in the pre-approval process. Pre-qualification, you can talk about these things, but with the pre-approval, we're looking at your credit report sitting right in front of us. We're talking about very specific items. We're calculating your income. We're going to tell you what your payments would be for a particular house. You might pick out a dream house, something that you've been looking at that has been interesting you. And so we'll calculate it with the taxes, the insurance, and give you a very clear idea what your payments would be and can you afford it. Sometimes not even can you afford it, but do you want to afford it? Just because you can spend $4,000 a month on a house doesn't mean you want to. So this is where you can start digging a little deeper and finding out where you want to be in your new home, right? In terms financially, we're speaking. So pre-approval requires a credit history check, where pre-qualification may not necessarily require that credit history check. So that's why if you're going to buy a house, you definitely would like to get a pre-approval. So the bottom line, you can get pre-approved when you know you're ready to buy a house. And when you're pre-approved, home sellers are going to take you more seriously. But there's some things that you should know. One last thing I'd like to mention is that with the pre-approval, It's still not a guarantee, right? Because you are getting pre-approved, there are still life circumstances that can take place that could cause you not to qualify, even though you signed a contract. So these are some things that you really want to be aware of. So even after you're pre-approved, you get your certificate and you're ready to rock and roll, you're out there making offers on homes, there are circumstances in life that do kick in. Unfortunately, over the last 20 years, I've been writing mortgages. I answer questions every day about people's documentation, and we get pre-approvals for people. And sometimes after they sign the contract, people lose jobs, get demoted. Sometimes you have cash that you're going to use for your purchase of your home. But unfortunately, we've seen people who have relatives pass away. They had to take their cash and give it to the relative to help for the burial. If people got sick, they have to give their money to the sick relative. It's unfortunate sometimes, but I've seen it happen where it causes so circumstances do kick in. But there are things that you can control, and then there's things that you cannot control once you are in contract to buy your house. The things that you can control is you don't want to go out buying all of this furniture for your new home before you get the keys to the house, before you close. Don't do that. Do not run up credit. Do not buy a new car. Do not co-sign for somebody else on your family or friends who want to buy a new car because you have good credit. They need you to sign. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not how you do it. The pre-approval is not a guarantee. What you want to do once you're pre-approved, you got a little level of certainty. You want to stay on the path of that certainty. Continue to do the things that you are doing that got you the good credit, that got you your good income. Do not quit your job. I know sometimes you want to get a promotion or leave the way you're working. Wait till after you get the keys to your house to do these things, because you do not want to sabotage your ability to buy the house. So on that note, I just want to say thank you and let you know that there is no cost to sit down and talk with a professional, right? Like myself, about getting pre-approved, buying a house. This is what we do. So I'm always here. If you ever have any questions, you want to contact me, I'm always here. You can text me. You can call me. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Share the video with friends, family, and thank you for all the referrals. I greatly appreciate it. Keep them coming, and you have a great day. Thank you. Have a nice one.